take a journey to discover more of the abundant life God has for you. Hey, my name is TJ, and welcome to another episode of A Journey of Discovery. I create faith-based content that I release every Monday, so be sure to like, subscribe, and follow so that you will be notified whenever a new video is released. Now, these past 4 weeks, I've shared how we are wired to hear the voice of God and the various ways that He speaks and even what His voice sounds like. If you haven't gotten a chance to watch these videos, be sure to check it out. Y'all, I'm getting this on YouTube. I can point and it actually is there. But check them out if you haven't gotten a chance to watch that. Now today, I'm excited to now use what we've learned in all of those videos to position you to hear from the Lord, because that's what this is all about, right? We want to be in relationship with God, to walk with Him, and to become more intimately acquainted with Him. And this, my friend, begins with communication. Proverbs chapter 8, verses 34 through 35 reads, "Blessed is the one who listens to me, watching daily at my gates, waiting beside my doors. For whoever finds me finds life and obtains favor from the Lord." Do you agree that relationship with God is the greatest form of favor? It's not materialistic things, it's Him. So from this passage in Proverbs, we discover that in order to hear from God, we need to do the following. We need to listen, we need to watch, and we need to wait for the Lord to see what He will share. Now, Habakkuk chapter 2, verses 1 through 2. This is a popular verse that's quoted many times when learning to hear the voice of God. And it reads in the New Living Translation, "I will climb up to my watchtower and stand at my guardpost. There I will wait to see what the Lord says and how He will answer my complaint." Then the Lord said to me, "Write my answer plainly on tablets," or for us, y'all, it's going to be journals, "so that a runner," which is you, "can carry the correct message to others." Now, I love this because it goes into detail about how we need to position ourselves to hear. Now, first we need to go to a high place in the Spirit. Why? Because we are seated in heavenly places with Christ, which places us in an optimal position to hear and encounter Him. So we are to go there and connect with God, and we are to use our spiritual eyes and our senses to see Him. Then we wait to hear His voice, and then we write down what He shares. So practically, what does this look like, right? Because that's what we want to know. Well, we must first enter into His presence by faith, y'all. Faith is important because it helps us believe that we can and will hear Him. Because John chapter 10, verse 27 says, "We will hear His voice," which means you are designed to hear the voice of your shepherd. Next, we need to set the mood or position ourselves to hear. We can do that a couple of ways. So first is grab yourself a journal. So I have a couple here of mine. I saw these, they were too cute. I love butterflies. They represent transformation to me. And I found this green one too. But if you have a spiral notebook, y'all use your spiral notebook, because why do we use a journal? Because, y'all, the creator of the universe, the one who holds your life in His hands, the one who speaks and causes creation to birth forth His very words, is talking to you. Like, if His words can create a birth in the Spirit, imagine what His words will do for you. So record what He speaks, because His words are priceless and they're treasures, and they will never return to Him void. They will do exactly what He called them to do. So I have journaled for a long time, and I even have entries all the way back from 2013. And there are times when God will ask me to go back to that old word, those things that He spoke to me months or maybe even years ago. And I will go back and read it and it will bring a refreshing to my soul, right? So he will do the same for you when you write down his words, because his words never get old. They're always good and they're always ready for the right time. So once we set this mood, we come to him again by faith, and we are filled with expectancy to encounter his presence, because expectation is invitation. So now that we have our journals, let's find a quiet place away from all the distractions, right? Because it says for us to listen. And we need to do this away from all the people. And if we have kids and if we have a spouse, let them know up front. I just need alone time with my Abba for X amount of minutes, right? This will allow you the space and the time to connect with God the Father with minimal to no disruptions. But TJ, what if I can't get alone time in my house? Then utilize those times when you're alone in your car, when you're at the gym, when you're out for a walk, when you're taking a shower, when you're doing housework, when you're having a lunch break at work. Or like, what if you woke up 30 minutes earlier before the rest of your family does? Because here's the truth. It's not a matter of if we have time. It's a matter of being intentional with the time that we have to create space to cultivate our relationship with Abba Father. So not only are we looking for a quiet physical space, but in this place we are also beginning to quiet this mind of ours in his presence. Sometimes this is hard to do, but it's so key. So tell your mind, just like you told your family, mind, I don't have time for you to remind me of things to do, or, items I need to add to my grocery list, or people I need to call. Right now is my time with God. So what I like to do when I'm creating an atmosphere where God's presence can dwell is I like to offer praise and thanksgiving, because his word says that God inhabits the praises of his people. So when we are praising him, there he is in the midst, right? There he is dwelling with us. And it's also a good time to play worship music. Remember, Elijah, play the music so that it'll usher us into this place with God. But here's the real secret when trying to connect with God that I had to learn. We're not looking externally or outwardly to connect with God in the distance by searching for him in the clouds. We are the carriers of his presence, which means he lives inside of you and I. If we want to enter into the presence of God, all we have to do is turn our heart's attention and focus inward. You don't have to go to church to encounter God. You don't have to go see a priest to encounter God. Your secret meeting place with the Lord is right inside of you. Then, when you connect with him here, listen to what he will speak. And we do this by tuning into spontaneous flowing thoughts that enter into our minds. And we're also watching to see if there's a change in us emotionally. Like if I came into his presence frustrated or anxious, and now I'm feeling his peace, then I celebrate, because this means that I have just encountered the Prince of Peace, and he is in my midst. And I'm thanking him for giving me peace in his presence. So pay attention to spontaneous flowing thoughts and sentences and emotions, and also look for spontaneous pictures or visions that pop into your mind, because this isn't just your imagination here. We're even presenting our godly imagination to him to use to speak to us. And when he begins to speak, write these things down in your journal, and most importantly, stay connected and in tune to God in the Spirit, so that you will continue to receive. So we're listening, we're watching, and we're waiting for the Lord, because he is in our midst and he is wanting to connect with you. This week, I want you to be intentional about setting aside time to spend with your Father. then write down whatever happens in this moment. If you only hear one word or one sentence, celebrate that, because I did. And that means that God is speaking to you. We're celebrating that God is speaking to you and you are able to hear. And if you don't sense or hear anything initially, do not let this discourage you. I've been through that too. Be determined that you will not stop pursuing God till you see the promise of hearing his voice fulfilled in your life. Though you may not hear his voice initially, I promise you that you will hear him eventually. So in your pursuit, you will discover that he rewards those who diligently seek him. So connect with the Lord this week and, oh my goodness, hear his voice. And if you happen to connect with him and hear his voice, I want you to comment in the section below, it worked. If you're feeling discouraged because you didn't hear his voice, type that in the comment too. I want to pray for you, because we are meant to hear the voice of our Father, and you are meant to hear him and to be in a relationship with him and walk with him. So if there's any way that I can pray for you to help facilitate that, then I will do it. So connect with him. Be intentional about, setting that time apart, and wait with a heart filled with expectation that you will encounter him this week. So I pray that this message blesses you guys. Y'all be blessed. I'll see you next week.